relatives, we'll be working with the third dimension yin called the planetary form and life, which is a universal law dimension, dimensional travel. Okay. Horse people works with this, with the galactic divas, light song, and also mana, material core of the universe. So at this time, we want to share a little bit with you, and we want to work with this. So this tree, the relative, the tree is here, he says. So the book is open now. Now there's this tall man, and he is here. His name is Ket, and he stands with the staff, which is his symbol. And before you, he has placed the dimensions. He has placed before you these ways of moving very quickly from one to another. And before you, he has placed many doors of both protection and teachings. And so at this time, he invites everyone to become very grounded, and reminds that there must be two offerings once it's done. And so at this time, this one Ket, and this one Chanupa with Wakawi Chasha, and these, the guardians of these gates, they're here, and do bid you to speak. So now this one Ket, which works with this dream time way, wants to share with you this message, message from this way that we call the first quarter of the third moon cycle in the 11th, 12th dimensional way. He says, I am Ket standing here, tall, 1 foot upon the earth, 1 foot upon the moon, and this, my staff that speaks to you. So within this, the same as it's your spine, the staff, these 28 doors, and this is the way that you will know these laws, that the lizard nation, the snake nation, the dragon nation, and even those dinosaurs, all those with these very long spines are teachers through this way of time, dimension, and space, and how things through this little diamond are made to appear bigger than they are. Now, through this love, which has been called unity, this oneness, a thought from this empty place enters that diamond of innocence. And from this becomes more than a hologram. From that is nothing. It becomes a reality in your dream. Now, it is this love through this place of the surrendered thought that brings forth the atom to be. Thus, a great concerted song brings the physicality you enjoy. To understand the very simple.
Hi, I'm Robin, and welcome back to the next.
Would be to see these universes that before now have been spoken. To perceive these ways of the morning star and how the spider weaves together many places, and even yet to travel this tree to find just the beginning place.
Here.
And therefore, before this present, your heart, the clearness of mind, your intent, and the will of God and universe does bring forth the atom of your being. Okay, now the horse. Now this one, Ket. Horse. Now this one, Ket, he comes in a chariot, you might say, and he was spoken of the crook of the sun. And there are 6 horses here, and they carry the fire in the hooves and in the mane. And it is upon this chariot that we may ride once we have purified ourselves. But lest we forget in ignorance to direct the course of the sun, let us then be careful and to enter only as the child, which we are, that little people. That upon this chariot with this great guide we may ask to see even dimensions not yet here, to bring back gifts from this manifestation for this Anta Prana, this 13th, to ultimately achieve this freedom of our universe. We must each bring the crystal of who we are. Part of that crystal is the journey of our life, and part of it is in the great beyond. And so we walk these mirror lives. Once we come close and far, near to the heart, we find again this thought, this light, this love of the child. And so in this way, we may enter upon this chariot and fly with the horse. Mitakuye Oyasi. Now the galactic diva, light song. A gift of song has been given unto each. Some may seem like shrieks and shrills, yet this is yet unattentiveness, the need for practice. For when we come first, even in this lifetime, to the earth, our cries aren't as sweet as they will be later, even as we learn to fast upon the hill. So this song is a gift from the Creator with a purpose and an intent from a circle before we come to fulfill a purpose, to become the living life and example singularity of God. And through this song, when we learn to sing, even the song of others guides closer to the center point, that our life becomes one with our mission that crosses lifetimes. For to grow as plant, as stone, as the winged and the four-legged, to finally stand, is but eons of preparation that our soul may learn, particle by particle, the great lessons. So this is the preparations for this one task. Then yes, once these tasks be complete, as one great star of light, we come together. And this is the final wisp, that final pulling and drying of that in-breath of Brahm. And so this one that sings the song of light that has gone out across the spaces reminds us of the oneness that brings us back together. Mitakuye Oyasi. Now, there's this one called Mana, material core of universe. Now, there is this great mother, and she is opening a bit of her presence here wherever she goes, and whatever she touches, anything can happen there. For she has all the power in the universe and beyond. So it is she who paints the forms of the Creator's thoughts and brings them into being. She is beyond the Omega. She just calls herself Mama. She is a very patient one. To her, time doesn't exist. Time exists not. Its vibration creates only the fields of her growing being, and density is her playing ground in the ways of how the little things come to be, and how these within other things become the playgrounds of the children. Now, there are three gifts through this crooked staff that this mother brings. A small offering with more to come later. Now, the photon is an activator which undoes that which is stuck, which releases that which is solid, and which ignites that which is poison, which through this thought of purity and intuitive intuition brings the crackling cascading of the sacred fires that free all. Now within this being there has been known as the neutron, is a balance of the male and female and a hidden power. For this is the power of judgment, and judgment without attachments. Judgment through these sacred laws, that when the love moves in the fields of these neutrons, you may say that a wave brings the still pond. That when you pray with these little beings, your reality plane shifts even as the clouds conform, then go away. Now there has been much discussion about these strings. They are a shape of space, and together create points of light through the travels time, through which travels time. Now these strings themselves are beings, and how the beings cross living space, living time, living dimensions and dream times and dimensions of life. And thus, so as you have been cast out from the center of things to go forth and learn and create, so are these strings, the very cords of your soul, which tie you to your mother. Now in the material core of the universe, receive your realignment to remember your purpose as friends, as family, as children of the Creator. So let not these parts of self, let not yourselves rub against one another. For these frictions create spaces of your own destruction. Learn openly to bring this peace of the mother. Mitakuye Oyasi. Well, this is third dimension yin. It's called the planetary form of life. Mitakuye Oyasi. Our relatives, we're going to talk about the third dimension yang, which is the second quarter of the third moon. And it's called the spiritual way of renewal, Re. And the hands people, or Nape Oyate, that works with the seraphim, the glory of God, and is also that one that they call the Creator Song, the old ways. So Re, spiritual way of renewal. Now this one, Gabriel, is working with this one. He's a scribe for these messages underneath the Cha Wakawi Chocha, the way of the sacred tree. And through this one, Gabriel, he extends his hand of thanks to you, to everyone here, for carrying the light of this tree. And so this tree begins to grow strong as we step higher towards the trunk of this tree, to where it branches and begins to add to the height and these ways of working with the tree and the medicine of Re. It comes greater responsibilities in purity and in oneness. So brighten your light, he says, for the journey ahead is a perilous one. It is one where you step through both the first and the second nights of the soul and undergo many tests which comes from above and below. So as you ascend through these ways of the tree, these symbols of the star nations, you will understand the compassion of God. Now this one, Gabriel she stands with several others, these here. The grandmothers of Tukashila and the grandmothers from both the mystery and the light, they are come here to bring an awakening to us all. And this, the Nape Oyate, the hands people, and these, the greater lighter ones from the sun and the sun behind the sun, they come, and also the sacred sound of life. And so unto these now, through this way of Re, bringing you messages and light and peace. Now, the Nape Oyate, the Hands nations, there are 7 relatives from this Hands people. The angel has come, and the flaming sword and a book has come, and an old one and a man in a beautiful robe has come, and a light around a clear eye, simple feather and a smile. Now these 7 grandmothers, they remind us that our first work is in nature. Therefore, there are many forces and influences and ideas that are trying to guide us from our task. So our first task, and they say, will be our last task, and this is in nature. That being in nature with all of life, with many representatives there, that this is the experience of Re. For here in the natural world are representatives from all over, and being in the elements of the world touch all the bubbles of life. And they say here on earth is much blessed, where there are many options. There's the desert, the sea, the mountains, the forest, almost infinite here with this nature. So then all the secrets of the inner life of man are found externalized in the nature. But take the time to perceive the light as it works, and how this light becomes a magnetic flow, and how magnetic flow becomes the life essence inside of everything. So these shimmery lights gives us a picture form that we see and perceive as we do. That yes, the dream, the image, the idea is important. Attunement to the light is key. So the difficulties that the peoples have is due to a misattunement with light. An idea can become like a disease if it is an idea outside of the mind of God. Therefore, allow your mind to be merged in God's. And so, it is true when some say that this problem is just your imagination. Go to the center of yourself and affirm wholeness, and it will be. And completing step is an attunement to this light of nature, which is the mind of God. Now, central is this fire, and the tree is the king of the fire, or within the cells of the tree are perfected little fires that could give you light. And when you stand before the fire in your world, it is the release of knowledge, of purity, and the oneness of the tree, the grasses, and these of the fire nation. So red, the sacred fire of love. Alignment of mind, oneness with nature. These are the three principles that are necessary for full healing. So without one of them, there's no healing. And so these, the Nape, do bid to open the doors of the fires inside you. For these are attunements to God in all aspects, to open the gateways to the thoughts of creators, as you are each an individualized doorway for this. And in nature, play. When you can cast aside these formalities of concrete and satin, and go into earth and remember her gentleness. And earth, and wind, and fire, you will find yourselves reborn, O children of water. Mitakuye Oyasi. Seraphim, glory of God. Now these two beings of light are coming in, and they are bringing their 4 of their sisters with them, and these beings are sending their purification to everyone in the world. And through this doorway of red, all the purification that needs to be, it is recorded there. For it is the map of the unfolding completion of light, love, and peace in our world. Where this red touches, a healing opens and begins. Not so much as the seed that is planted, as a space is opened. For when the first, and second, and third dimensions of life are stretched through this red, a great presence comes to recreate and play. And now these seraphim, they bring a great fire. Purify your eyes, purify your mind that sees through them, purify your heart that sees through the mind that sees through eyes, purify the body, which is the lens of the mind. Send your roots deeper into the earth so that you may receive greater light, and allow your heart to reach and touch God. It takes bravery upon the path, this rainbow, to become whole, and thus in this way it is a fire and purification, which opens the eye, which cleanses the mind, which reminds the heart and clears the body, so that there may be a oneness in our focus upon God. There is not one that is allowed to cross the sacred river until full contemplation of heart is achieved. And in the heart, every atom within the center of the cell. Understand that there is a thorough process in the cleansing of the human soul, And it is through the fires of the sun that this is done. And there's no compromise and no other door. So it is written in the law that all the children shall step through the sun into a greater created universe. And therefore, even moon and planet and the black stars must pass through this river of purification of the solar star. So gathered in our Father, Son, a great being clothed by women, sit our counsel of the Lord. 24 elders of these so honored are ye that perhaps the mind a little bit more can open. There are no excuses in this day. There are none. There that are new. It's time to evolve. It's time to become. And it's time to awaken in full. Mitakuye Oyasi. It's Creator's song. Now, there is a song of victory, and this song is found in and we understand the sacred sound anciently uttered from the center of things, and in the moment a rhythm heartbeat of pulse that recreates within the sacrum in each of these eight directions connection to the universes of the grandmother. Become purified, and in awareness plant the seed that through the worship of the joy in the rainbow rises the street, and in the heart resound the tone and through this living fire of water rises, be free, awakening the inner food, the inner drink, allowing the self to become a starry woman, starry man, and a starry child, becoming a living, ascended, serving one in the joy of the light of creation. Third dimensional yang, DNA, consciousness, awareness, Mitakuye Oyase.